Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I'm starting my next vlog in reading Booktubers' favorite books, and as you can see for the title for this, I'm gonna start with Becca from Becca and the Books' favorites in this video. Very excited. So I read 5 books that she has picked out and then I rank them, see if our taste aligns, etc. But before that, I have to go through a little list because there was a lot of books that was her favorite I already read. I don't even bother taking the books out of my shelves because it's so many, so I'm just gonna quickly mention them. So, some examples that was here was House of Earth and Blood by Sarah Maas. When I read this, I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 5 stars, so I taste a line there. Red Rising by Piers Brown. I really liked the first book, but I'm not a fan of the rest of the series. So there is a thing that like kind of separates a bit. Then we have The Hidden Game by, what's it called, the author called Sally Thorne. I really don't like this book. I think I gave it 2 stars. There is a romance in this vlog, and if it's anything like The Hidden Game, that's all I got to say. Then we have Illuminate by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I didn't really love this either. I think I give it like 3 stars. Like I don't hate it, but like I didn't love it like everyone else did. Nevernight by J. Kristoff. I enjoyed it when I read it, and I think like the series itself is like how it's written and like the concepts are fun, but it's like not a favorite. Then it is the Becky Chambers series. The first one called A Long Way to Small and Angry Planet. I love the second book of this series. I gave that 5 stars. The others I feel okay about. So I don't actually know like which one Becca loved, but yeah, these are all the ones that Becca have given 5 stars. Then of course I love Archive. I love these, 5 stars for all of them, but it's surprisingly like very a little like high fantasy like in the vlog itself, just because most of the one that Becca has read I also have read. Then we have Adela Rue, which I enjoyed. I didn't give it 5 stars, but I enjoyed it a lot, and obviously I love Schwab. And after that we also talked about Vicious, which is my favorite Schwab, I think. So your tastes align. Then she also mentions Saga, and I haven't read the like next one, but we ended up not picking out Saga because I kind of already read them, so kind of already know how I feel about them. But I really love that series. So we have The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. It's not really my favorite. I really like Priory, but I don't really love Bone Season. And then we have Strange Dreamer by Laini Taylor, one of my favorite series of all time. So you know, really good taste align. Then Scythe, I never know if it's Scythe or Scythe by Neil Schusterman. I really like that series. Like it's not a favorite, but I really like it and recommend it highly. Then Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. I hope it's the right Nevermore. I really like that series as well. It's not a favorite, but I really like it. And that is like all we went through that Becca's given 5 stars. Obviously there's many more books that Becca loves, but she doesn't consider it a fave unless it was like 5-star books. Obviously the ones I did mention are the ones I'm going to read in this video. We went through like a long list just because I read a lot of books. I'm excited to see what I will think about them. There's one actually that I'm waiting to arrive in the mail, but obviously I have the other 4. So the one I started with kind of randomly, I already started this, is You by Caroline Kepnes, which obviously Becca gave 5 stars. And obviously I know what You is. I have watched the TV show. I watched season 1 to 3 several times. And I have started season 4, but I haven't finished it because I wasn't loving it. But I will finish it eventually. But I never thought I would actually read a book. Like I know a lot of people love the first book and I don't like the next books as much. And I never really thought that I would read them just because I didn't really have an interest in reading the book that much. And there was a time I thought I would read it, but then I just put it behind me. And now Becca was like, it's my favorite. And I was like, well, I guess I'm reading it now. If you don't know, You is like about a stalker called Joe. The stalker is like serial killer, I guess you can call him. He meets this girl that he becomes obsessed with and stalks her, and like it's super creepy. And it's like told where like he talks to you in a way. Like it's told from his perspective, but he says like you do this because of these reasons. So it's told like really in a special way, but obviously that's not how that other person is acting. That's just how he thinks that other person is. So it's kind of like interesting in that way. That's also how the TV show is done, which I think they did really well, like translating that from the book to the TV show. And I knew it was written in this way before picking it up. And as I said before, I know a lot of people really liked the first book, and obviously this was out long before the TV show. Personally, I enjoy the show a lot. It's a bit trash, but I enjoy it. I think it's really like fun and entertaining. Obviously, I know where the story would go. So I don't know like if there's any like twists in it, but I guess like what makes it special is how it is told. I have started and I am on page, I cannot even remember. I forgot to take a bookmark in because I didn't have one I think I'm on page 106. I'm very behind on my reading and stuff because of stuff in my life. In theory, I should have finished this already, but I'm not. I am liking it. I'm not like loving it and like thinking it will blow my mind. I don't know if it is because I have, as I said, already watched the show. I'm familiar with the story. It's nothing like revolutionary to me. Or if I would have felt like this anyway. I'm trying to think like how I would feel about it if I read it when it was like initially released, which is 2014. It's quite a long while ago. I'm not sure how much like those other factors are affecting my enjoyment of the book. Like, because it's hard to tell because I don't know how my brain would be without those factors in it. But I'm not like disliking it. It is interesting. But so far I thought actually I would be like, I guess, more intrigued in the story. Because like I thought I would be intrigued more into like just the character and the thought process and like how it was written, just because I enjoy the format of the show a lot and like the characters. So I'm not like loving it, but I'm not hating it. I'm just feeling totally fine by it. So we shall see how obviously those feelings will develop. There's a 400-page book, so like I have a lot left. But that's where I'm sitting now. So yeah, I will keep you updated. That's why we're here. I think it would take probably a few days to finish it because I'm behind, but then I'll try to read the others faster. Not that it matters to you, but I'm trying to plan things in my head. So yeah, you shall see me soon. Hello. So it's been a few days. I was in a slump, or it wasn't a slump because I was just stressed out and then I didn't read. But I'm over that now. Sorry for all the noise in the background. There's rain. There's a computer on. And there's a fan on. But I did finish just now You, which is why we are here. And I don't know what to say. I honestly don't know what to say. Did I even say what You is about? It's Joe, who's a stalker, and then you find someone who is his obsession. And you kind of almost get, I would say, gaslight by his point of view. Because like, you honestly think that this other person did something wrong with them and not Joe. Even with all like the terrible things he does, it is kind of glossed over because we're in his head. So like it doesn't seem as terrible as it really is. Like he also kind of doesn't tell us everything he does either. The other person tells it to us, and we like never experienced him doing these things, but it's like obviously gross and terrible, and he's not a good person. I'm sorry, is the rain splashing me through the open window? It's very rude. Either way, so you kind of even get tricked by him, and obviously that's, I think, the point, because the characters in this book also get tricked by him. I just think it is done well when you think about it in that regard. However, just reading about like, I was gonna say him being horny all the time, like he literally just wants to have sex all the time, and it's kind of gross, and like all the things that's in his head wrong with other people and just how he thinks about other people, it's kind of gross and it gets a bit tiring after a while. I know this is the point, it's not supposed to be good, but it gets tiring and you're a bit like, the things that are happening doesn't feel as, I don't know what to say, like creepy and exciting when it is happening. I don't mean to say that I'm supposed to sit there and feel super happy and excited the whole time, but there's just something where like it loses a bit of my attention in the story because there's just kind of a lot of whining. Parts of me didn't like it as much as I thought I would because I do enjoy the show, but when I think about like what the book does, it I think is done well, especially like the end. When a certain thing happens, I'm not going to say what it is, but if you watch the show or if you read the book, you might know what I'm talking about. But when things are revealed in the end, a certain thing happens. And I thought that was more interesting here than in the show, as an example. So that I like that part. I liked it, maybe it's the wrong word, but I enjoyed reading about it. Thought I would like it more, and then I thought I would like it less. So I'm feeling like very like mid about it. I wouldn't say it's a favorite or anything like that. I think I might give it like a 3 stars. I'm feeling like totally okay by it. I'm not repulsed by it. I just feel like it was a fine book. Parts of it was done well. Parts of it was a bit boring. You know, I am really curious kinda of how I would feel if I hadn't watched the show. But again, can't really do anything about that. The changes they made there made the story better. And I think they're also good in the show to trick you into being on Joe's side, where he doesn't seem as bad, and then like it's revealed more of what he really does. So I think they did a good job there as well. So they captured the heart of the story there really well, at least for the first season. And I think they did a good job also with like the dialogues, etc. It really feels true to book in my head. So yeah, it's a good adaptation. And I'm not saying the book is terrible. I get why people really love it. I feel like it's done in an interesting way. I just like personally didn't love it completely. Finished with the first book, Flight. And now I'm gonna read the next one, which is a graphic novel, which is Lord Olympus by Rachel Smythe. This is obviously volume 1. I haven't read any ones before. I have heard about this a lot. I know it is a Greek mythology retelling. And again, I heard many things about it. I was gonna pick it up eventually, I just never did. And I know people really love it. So I hope I love it too. And yeah, I will get back to you when I finished it. Which is obviously gonna take much faster than you did, because it's a graphic novel. Yay! Hello, it is me. It is a bit later. I am going to bed-ish soon. But I did finish Lord Olympus Volume 1. And I really liked it. It was really fun. It is a Hades and Persephone. I literally cannot say her name. I literally said it correctly like 10 minutes ago and now I forgot. But you get what I mean. It's their story. It's kind of something like modern Olympus, but at the same time it is not, because when we visit humans it seemed like they were not modern, but then they also have phones and cars in like the god world. But maybe they are more modern because, like, you know, they're gods, they can decide their developments. I don't even know. And then we see different gods, we meet different people that we know, and the light is changing for every time I move. It was very disturbing. Maybe this was better, I don't even know. Basically they just met, they're pining, and it was really sweet. The art was very special and different than like I'm used to in, I was going to say graphic novels, mangas. Obviously manga has a lot of style, but they are also, you know, different within each other and stuff. And I really liked it. It was really like colorful. The palette was really colorful and different than I'm used to, and I really liked it. The story so far was sad, really sad, but interesting. I'm not sure if I would give it 5 stars. It doesn't feel like a 5-star book for me, but I feel like it's a book I really enjoyed. I'm gonna give it like a very strong 4-star. I really like immediately want to pick up the next one, which like is a good sign, but I'm gonna wait for a bit because they are a bit expensive. You know, I did get the paperback at least, so that saves me some. It was good. It was good. I had a feeling I would like it because, you know, I like Greek mythology retellings in general. You know, I love myself a god of the underworld, etc. But I was still unsure. But it was different and weird. Not weird, but weird style, but like in a good way. It surprised me and I really enjoyed it and I'm happy about it. So yay. So that means we already finished with 2 books now, because one of them was a graphic novel. And I am going to start the next one now tonight because I'm not sleeping yet, but I won't finish it tonight. Hopefully we'll finish it tomorrow. And it is, surprise, what are you waiting for? X-Hex by Ern Sterling. Don't know anything about this. I saw someone read it. I don't remember who right now, but I see people talk about this. It is a few years old now. I think it's about a witch. I think it's a romance. I don't know. I don't even know. Is it adult? Is it YA? I have no idea. But I picked it up because Becca gave it 5 stars. Yeah, I'm gonna go and start this now. It has a huge font. Like, it's huge. I don't know if you can see that. So I think it will go fast. I'm hoping to finish it tomorrow at least. I'm gonna go and start this now in bed. So see you later. Hello. So it is the next day. I last night finished the X-Hex by Ern Sterling, and I don't think I said what this is about, just expectations. It was a very short book with really big font, so it didn't take that long to read, and it follows these 2 people that dated for one summer. They dated for like 3 months and it was super amazing and I had amazing sex and it was amazing, and then he broke her heart and it broke up, and now 9 years later he's coming back to the town to do some business shit. And when they broke up 9 years ago, our main character kind of cursed him. So now a lot of stuff are happening and things are going wrong. So they need to fix this, and feelings might spark again. Which I wouldn't say it's exactly a spoiler to say that these feelings will spark really quickly. Which is, I guess, kind of what bothered me a bit about it, is that I feel like there was no suspense, there was no anticipation for them to come together. It kind of just happened really fast. I know it's a short book and all that, but I think I realized that in romances I like it when they use a bit of a long time. I know some people might not like it, but I really like it when they use a really long time and that like there's a lot of like anticipation, etc. Like a really slow burn romance, because I feel like sometimes when you call it slow burn, it's never actually slow burn, but like actual slow burn works really well for me, and this was not it. I think things devolve very fast, and I'm not reading this for the world building or anything like that. What I like the most about it is like the whimsicalness of the witches stuff and the spells and how they did stuff. I thought that that was really, really fun. And that was probably what I enjoyed most about the book. I didn't really care for the characters. I didn't really get why they liked each other. They just kind of liked each other. And I guess I'm not like the biggest fan of second chance romance, because that bases itself on the fact that they care for each other and fall for each other, often outside our view, and then they already care for each other and have feelings for each other, and then we are just supposed to believe in it. We didn't experience it. And sometimes it can work really well. Like sometimes you can have an established relationship and you can care for them and care for the relationship. But I just didn't work for me. So like it's a really relationship focused book that's not really smutty either. And I do like smut, but like I'm not saying it does need smut to be good. But I feel like if it had been smutty, I would have liked it more. But yeah, I just didn't care for this relationship, which is what the book bases itself upon. But it was kind of musical and fun. I'm not saying I disliked it. It was like an easy, okay read. I gave it like 3 stars. But it's like not a favorite or like something I love, but it was okay. Like I don't regret reading it. And then I started the next book for the vlog, but I didn't upload last night because I look nasty. I mean, not that I look better now, but I was hot and it was late and I didn't want to talk. But I did start my next book, which I'm not that far in. I wanted to finish it last night, but that didn't happen. And it is The Love Hypothesis by Ailey Hazelwood, which is like the most hype book ever. Because literally I was adding it on Goodreads and it had 1 million ratings. I think I have like print 44 of the book. That says a lot about how popular it was. I was just like a bit mind blown actually, because I know it was popular, but I didn't know it had like 1 million ratings on Goodreads. And we have to remember that like the ratings on Goodreads is not sales numbers, obviously. So usually if a book has really high numbers there, it means that they sold like trillion times more than that. So yeah, there's a few books I add that has 1 million ratings. And I'm just like, wow, that's insane. But either way, this is also a romance. And it follows this main character, what's her name again? Olive. And she is a PhD student. And then she starts to fake date one of the other professors. Like, not one that she's under, but another professor at the school. Because she needs to convince her best friend that she's moved on from a dude she dated like once. And her best friend wants to date him, but she doesn't want to break her code. And then he needs it to basically get money from the school. Because they think he's moving, but he's not. He's like, he wants to do his research, but they don't want to give him money because they think he's moving. And then if he has a girlfriend, it seems like he's staying. Yeah, that's the reason for their fake dating. I really like fake dating, actually. I think it's a really fun trope that's now is in a lot of romances. And I do like a contemporary romance sometimes. So far, I am page 72 pages in. And so far, I find it a bit, I don't know how to describe it. Cringy is maybe the word. It's just something about like how it's written and how it started out. I was just like, what is going on right now? And I was just very surprised because I don't know why, but in my head I thought that this was gonna be amazing because it's so popular. And I just don't see this right now, as far as I am in, how it differs from other romances I read. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that I don't understand why this is like the best book in the whole world. Because right now it's like literally the same as like any other romance. Like the setup, how they're talking. Just that for me, just the way it's written a bit, just feels a bit like cringy right now. For me at least. So I just don't understand why it's so popular right now. But because I thought it's gonna blow my socks off. But I'm only 72 pages in. There's potential in here for me to turn it really around and really enjoy it. Don't know if this is a book I would like. Which is why I didn't have plans to pick it up. But then Becca said it was her favorite, so here we are. Maybe we shall see if it turns around a bit. But right now I'm just like feeling like, okay, about it. And I will complete it. And hopefully it's like really fast and like we get to the stuff. Obviously gonna fall for each other and all that. But we shall see if they can hold that anticipation, which is a word apparently I can't say, for me to care about them. And yeah, that is my update. I'm going to try to finish that today. Then I have one more book for this vlog, which actually arrived yesterday. So I'll show you that after. I want to say I want to finish both today, but I don't think it's going to happen. But we shall see. And you shall see me very soon. Hello. So last night I did finish the love hypothesis. Can I sit down somewhere? Maybe here? Instead of standing here like this. I'm sure it's fine. I actually did end up caring for this couple because I thought they were moving too fast, as I said yesterday. And I was just like, I was unsure if I would end up shipping them. But then suddenly I found myself simping a bit because like when finally stuff happened and like when things were very dramatic, I was just like, oh my god, like I had reactions. I did feel for them, like it made me feel stuff. So I will agree that like I was in with them. At the same time, when the rush of the book was over, I was just like, but do I care still? No, really. So I guess like for most of the book I didn't care until like things really came together. But then I realized when things came together that I care more than I thought I did, because I thought I didn't care at all. In the end, I guess I liked it more than I did like yesterday when I had read like 87 pages or something. I did think that, especially, what's his name again? Adam. You know, he's like a broody, grumpy, la 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 la. And my character's like sunshine, I would say. I liked Adam. I like a grumpy person. I like that trope. I like fate dating tropes. I like a romance. So like I ended up not hating it or anything like that. I did feel for them and I did have a good time. I thought it was interesting to read about like women in science, etc. I know that the art as well is like a professor, etc. I just don't know a lot about like, what's to say, science stuff and like academia and all that, grants and all stuff like that, especially how it works, like, you know, in not where I live. Not that I know anything here. So like I was a bit confused by those aspects because I don't really understand them. But you kind of get things from context. Obviously you don't need to know these things. But now, since I didn't know like the full context, I was sitting there like, how does this work? I have no idea. But like, it doesn't matter for like the enjoyment of the romance of the book. It's just a thought that like I was sitting there like, I have no idea what they're talking about. But good on them for, yeah. I love it also because I feel like Adam is very much like a man of your dreams. I mean, like, he's like broody, he doesn't want anyone else. He basically like worships the ground you walk on and like would be very unselfish and let you have your happiness wherever you want and like buys you whatever you want because he's rich, and then he's super handsome and perfect and like is super non-toxic and all the things. Like he's basically the perfect man that doesn't exist in real life. Joking, it probably does, like 1 out of 1,000 or something. I'm joking. Or am I? So I feel like the author really like wrote the perfect man, so I can see a lot of people simping for him. Because I would have him. I would take him if he liked me. And I guess that's sweet in a way. I guess that's why people simp for it. I think Olive was a fine character. Like, she was really passionate of what she was doing. Very whimsical and sweet-natured. I just need the opposite, you know, sometimes. I think, like, I need when a girl is grumpy and the dude is, like, super happy. But I get that's probably exists too. There's so many romance stuff and people like to use those tropes. And yeah, it was a okay romance in the end. I think I would give it 3.5. So I thought it would be a complete 3 for a while. And then I thought I would give it 4. But now I'm just like, 3.5 seems a good rating. So I didn't hate it, but I didn't like love it either. It's not my favorite book or anything like that. But it was like entertaining and it gave like the romance tropes that I enjoyed. So yeah. And that means we're starting the last book for this vlog. I need to get it. Which is Fortuna Sworn by KJ Sutton. I just realized there's like 12 minutes into my Boscos because I calculated time incorrectly. I got it wrong. I don't know anything about this. I think it's fantasy romance. It's very short. And you should see me later. Bye. Hello. It is the next day. And I did finish... Where did I put the book? Fortuna Sworn by KJ Sutton. And this one follows Fortuna Sworn. That's her name. And the series name is also Fortuna Sworn. So I guess you can't really forget the name. And this is a paranormal fantasy romance. We have a main character who is a nightmare, the last of her kind, which means that she touches other people and can see their fears and kind of give them hallucinations. I don't know why I can't pronounce that word right now. You know what I mean, though. Of their fears, or like, I don't know if she can she give them images of like not just the fears. I'm not sure. Maybe that's the thing that will come up later. But basically, her brother went missing 2 years ago. He disappeared without a trace, and then she gets a clue through this fairy dude that she now needs to enter a deal with, which I'm not gonna say what it is, but there's a deal there, and she needs to go after her and find her brother, which leads her into death and blood and betrayals and lies. and supernatural stuff. Obviously, she is supernatural herself, so she's used to this, but she needs to do things to survive and save her brother. Yeah, that's basically it. Obviously, there will be a romance blooming between her and her fairy dude, and I didn't hate it. I liked it. Just to say that at first, I really liked our main character. I thought she was an interesting character. I really like that kind of power. Like, I have read it before and I like it. I like a fairy story. I like a bit of a darker romance. Like, obviously dark stuff happened and it was bad. So yeah, I enjoy all those aspects, and it was a bit smutty, but there was just something about like how it's very short. So there was things that I felt should have been more impactful, didn't really reach me, because it was just like, oh, this happened, let's move on. And I was like, oh, okay. And there was stuff like suddenly added into the story that I didn't see where it came from. And I think that it's supposed to be like that, but I was just very put off by it sometimes. So the world building could be a bit like Jared, because like she has so many questions and then she kept asking them. And then they were just, oh, I'll answer later, or just evaded her questions all the time to keep us like guessing. And it's a very annoying way to world build. I know it's really normal, and it just gave me like flashback to like when YA paranormal romance was a thing. Not that this is YA, but like when that was on its heights, it was always like that main character had so many questions about like the supernatural world, and then they didn't know like anything. And I was a bit surprised by this, considering that they are from the supernatural world. Like, didn't have knowledge of each other, but it seemed like she didn't really know anything. It just based herself on like human legends. But I assume nightmares was part of the paranormal world, but it maybe not, because like they were basically extinct. So maybe that's why they weren't part of it. Maybe. But yeah, it was just kind of annoying world building, but like we were like, there were no answers ever. We just kept asking and asking, and maybe got an answer. And then we were introduced to stuff a bit weird for my taste. I was just like, this came out of nowhere. I think that was really serious and like bad, like really bad stuff was happening. We were just kind of glossed over. And I'm not saying that I mind it being dark. I just meant that I would assume our main character would care more about the stuff happening. And then we saw her care about some stuff, but the other stuff was just like, oh. And I was just like, what? Why don't you care about this one thing? Because I feel like that thing was unforgivable. And then right later, she's just like, nah. And I was like, what? Why don't you care? And that fell off me, because obviously a dark romance will have like dark stuff in it. And obviously they need to overcome that to like, you know, I was going to say bang, because that's dark romance for you. But it needs to feel realistic, because she cared about many other stuff. But that was like, that was a big deal, but not this. So that like put me off, because it was contradicting for me. I feel like I'm just complaining, but like that was what I felt, because I felt like some stuff was like really cool and I really liked it. But then like it stopped itself for like exploring it deeper, or like write it out more, or like have more impact, because it was kind of rushed over. Some cool aspects of the story, like some really cool like takes on like werewolves and fairies, and you know, her being a different creature, and like politics and stuff like that. There was like cool stuff in there, but I didn't like manage to fall completely in love with it, because like the other things held me back from it. It had some of my favorite things in a fantasy book, but like again, it held me back from loving it completely. And then there was this one thing about her. I don't know how to explain it, but all I'm gonna say is that when she dreams, something happens. I'm not gonna say more. And I don't understand that. That is weird. That is a really weird aspect of the story. I think that's supposed to be the point. And I'm freaked out by it a bit. I'm just like, what is this? And I don't trust that. I feel like there's something shady about that whole situation. More shady than we think. And I think there is also a threesome drama coming up. But like, I mean, it's almost a quarter now at this point. But I feel like, because of what was revealed all the way in the end, there's a threesome coming, which like I adore, like a classic romantic threesome. That's what I want. Not like a threesome. Is it called a threesome? A triangle. I love a triangle. A threesome is something else. I was mixing up that words in my head. I'm really sorry. A threesome. I know what a threesome is. I forgot that it's called a love triangle and not a love threesome. This is so bad. You got what I meant, I hope. Oh my god. I meant to say that there's a love triangle coming, I think. So we shall see about that. I don't trust anyone, and I feel like the book, as I said, did some stuff really well. But then the other parts, I'm not saying were done badly, they just didn't work for my logical brain. It was like an enjoyable book. I would continue. Also, it was very addicting. Other parts were like, what? So, I don't know. I think I would give it 3 stars. And yeah, that means I read the last book for this vlog. I will film a wrap-up clip later, final thoughts and like who won, but I think you might know already because of the ratings and stuff. So yeah, see me later. Hello! So, as you know, I finished all the books for this vlog and I'm currently going to save it. So I need to wrap up my final thoughts for these books. And I had a little think of what I liked the best and the least. So let's go through them. First of all, just want to say that I don't think that the books I read in this particularly would make me think that me and Becca's tastes align a lot. Like, I would say that like I like them okay, most of them, but not like FAES. But there were so many others that we have in common though, and I still feel like we do have the same taste, but not completely matching. But that is okay, that is okay. Still love her, still love her. The one that comes on the bottom of all of these is You by Caroline Kepnes. This is basically just, I like You, I like the concept. I think it does good well with the gaslighting and like with like Joe as a character and what it like, how it tricks the reader and how it talks to the reader. But like overall, like just a okay book, because when I think about like the things happening and like some of the stuff is a bit cringy to me. So yeah, I'm not saying I hate it, you know, 3 stars is fine. And I, like I said, I read it, but like a part of me could have gone all my life without reading it and I would have been fine, you know? I think on 4th, I'm actually putting the X-Hex, because while I think it was enjoyable, the romance just didn't work for me in this one. It's a second chance romance, which I realize now maybe I don't like that much. And I just didn't care for the romance, you know? The witchy stuff was cute, but like I didn't care for the other stuff happening. So it was just like a fine, okay read. No regrets reading it, but not like a favorite or thing I would remember a lot, sadly. But again, just totally a fine read. Like if people ask me for recommending them, I probably would. I would be like, yeah, they are good for these reasons. But I personally wouldn't consider it a favorite, you know? So I think then, I'm between 2, but I think I would put on 3rd place The Love Hypothesis, because it ended up me caring a lot for their relationship actually, but also I don't think it's like a favorite or like super impressed by it or anything like that. I did enjoy, like, as I said, the characters and their relationship, and I wanted them to be together and to be okay. When like I think about events and I guess like the dialogues, I was just like, So there's a part I enjoyed, but mostly it's just like a okay romance book that I was like, yes, I had fun with. And if you like romance, you would like this, but it didn't blow my mind. I think I said I gave it a 3.5, which then does make sense, because then I am putting Fortuna Sworn, which I said I gave it a 3. I don't know, maybe they're both like around 3, but this one had a lot of things I really liked. I'm still thinking about like the original aspects of the story, especially the thing that happens when Fortuna sleeps. I'm not going to say more, but I think about that still, and it has woken my curiosity. So because of that, it is intriguing me enough to like, I like this more than I thought, I think. I enjoy parts. I wish, as I said, things were more explored and some things made more sense to me. But overall, like, it was an enjoyable book and it had some really, really cool aspects in it. So I'm excited to continue this one. And I want answers. I think that's a really good sign. So it entertained me a lot. And yeah, I'm putting this 4th. I mean, 2nd. Sorry, I was thinking it was the 4th book. That means on 1st, we are ending with Lore Olympus, Volume 1, which makes sense because it was a completely story I enjoy. It was very sad. I was going to say a bit depressing, but like the colors, the story, Greek mythology, it got me in its grips. And I think that when I continue, I'm just enjoy it so much, and I had such a good time with it. So yeah, it's the clear winner here. It was like a really clean 4-star read. And I'm really happy that I finally read it because of this vlog. But I was going to read it one day. I just put stuff like this off forever because they're expensive, etc. And that was it. I am going to hold up the little pie for you. I mean, I guess this should go on top. That is it. That is for my ranking for Becca's favorites. I feel like it was a weird pile because we didn't get a lot of high fantasy in here. But there's romance, there's intrigue, there is sexy stuff. So yeah, I had a good time. It's like not my favorite, as I said, but I still don't think any of them were like a 1-star or 2-star. So I call it a win as well. And yeah, that was it for this video. Leave a horse emoji down below if you enjoyed this, because there's a horse on the cover. I think it's a horse. Is that a donkey or a horse? Whatever this creature is, leave one of them below. And you should see me soon in a new video. Thank you so much for watching. And you should see me soon. Goodbye!